Thank you for joining me today. I'm Heather Ellis, and this is what you need to know for the upcoming full moon. For those of you new to my channel and those of you who are returning, welcome to the Dog Star Pack. This is a timeless full moon reading being recorded in August 2025. This means that the tarot messages are what you need to know and can be applied to any full moon. And then the astrology information is specific to the full moon on August 9th, happening in the sign of Aquarius. I will briefly describe the August full moon, and then we will dive into the tarot readings. There are 3 tarot readings for you to choose from. Prior to jumping to the timestamps, you will need to pick the pile based on the teacup you are drawn to. So spoiler alert, your reading includes tarot cards and a tea leaf reading. How exciting. Now, looking at the full moon, we have a full moon at 16 degrees and 59 minutes of Aquarius. Full moons represent completions, endings, and this full moon is connected to Aquarius, new moon that occurred in February 2025. So take a look at the things that you were doing in February of 2025. What did you start? What seeds did you plant? What kind of projects were you trying to push forward? These things will be coming to a completion, a fulfillment, or fruition at this full moon. Now, also, full moons represent our emotional landscape. This full moon is almost entirely unaspected, except for an inconjunction to the South Node in Virgo. And inconjunctions to moons, they create a repressing followed by an over-expressing of emotions. So Aquarius doesn't really like to express emotion, which means that doesn't mean that Aquarius is unfeeling, but rather there's a preference to come from a place of the mind rather than the ooey gooey feelings. So coming from a space of detachment versus sinking into and outwardly expressing all of those feels. The full moon representing a completion in the sign of Aquarius can indicate breaking free and breaking down from our old ways and patterns of expressing our emotions. So enough about the astrology. Now let's dive into the cards and the tea and find out what you need to know to work with the energy of this full moon. Before we go into the readings, you need to pick which reading is for you. We have reading number 1, reading number 2, and reading number 3. So reading number 1 is going to be with this teacup. Reading number 2 is this teacup. And reading number 3 is this teacup. So take just a moment, see which one you are drawn to, and then look at the timestamps below and see which reading is yours, or jump right to your reading. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the teacup first, and I just want to see some of the things that I can see, and I'm just looking up because I don't want to tilt it towards me. I want to make sure that you can see it. Also, please comment below, and any things, any designs, any objects that you see in the teacup, put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you are seeing in the cup, and you can Google it. You can do whatever you want to try and find some of the interpretations on some, or the meanings of the symbolism of some of the objects that you're seeing. Put that in the comments below. I'd love to share and have you share that with me and with anyone else who's watching the videos. So first off, what I'm seeing here, and I'm just looking up in my camera at the cup. Okay. And okay, so I'm seeing a few notable things here. I am seeing at the very bottom of the cup, I am seeing actually a rabbit. I'm seeing a beaver. And let's see what else I'm seeing. I'm just going to turn the cup, see what I can see on the sides. Okay, so I see a man, a woman, and I see a horse jumping. And let's see, do I see anything else? It's a lot right there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start breaking this down a little bit. So with the hair, the rabbit that's at the bottom of the cup, this can indicate someone who needs your help, but could be too shy to outright ask you for it. So that could be where some of that strength card comes in for you for this full moon energy, where it's almost like learning learning or knowing when to take action and knowing when to sit back quietly, knowing when to speak, knowing when to hold your tongue. So it's almost like knowing, it's using that intuition, using that inner strength that you have, that wisdom, that knowledge in order to be open to listening and receptive, but also knowing when to, if you see someone that a friend that you think might be struggling a little bit, but they might be too shy to say something, it's you actually, going forward and knowing when to actually offer that help or ask them the questions to find out whether they need your help. Again, I also see that man and woman. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go to the man and woman first. So I see the man and the woman, and then I see this horse, this jumping horse. And when you see a man and woman, this does indicate that you're working very hard. You have a desire right now for around this time of the full moon that for financial stability and building that and a happy family life. And then with the jumping horse, this does indicate that you are going to overcome any obstacles in your path during this full moon. So one of the things and one of the ways that you're going to be doing that, and this also brings in that strength card, it's that knowing what you can and being confident in what you need to release and let go of. So what is no longer serving you? What is no longer part of that making the family unit happy, creating that financial stability? Where could you be possibly like hemorrhaging money and finances? What obstacles are in your path, and what behaviors, what things are you doing that limits yourself and prevents you from overcoming those obstacles? Or again, what is no longer fulfilling or leading to your to you living your best life, really, and what do you need to release and let go of? And sometimes that takes that inner strength in order to recognize that and to have the strength to make those changes. We don't like change. People are, we are creatures of habit. We like things, we like the status quo. We like things to stay the same. We don't like too much upheaval in our lives or unpredictable things in our lives. We like knowing, we like stability. And sometimes, though, you have to rock the boat, right? You have to know when is the right opportunity to do that and when you need to let go and release some things that are holding you back and holding you down from achieving the things that you really want. So this new moon, or this full moon energy is a great time to work at that and releasing the things that no longer align with your goals in life. And also one of the things too is that having that gratitude of service, that humility, but taking what I like about this card here, this is more about that conscious action, deliberately making those choices of what you can let go and release and what you need to keep. So what habits can you release? What habits can you keep? That kind of an energy. And let's see, do we have anything else? Oh, and I had also said that there was that beaver, right? So the beaver at the bottom of the cup there, that represents hard work, diligence, and building towards a secure future. So whatever you're working on in your career or home, through careful planning and effort, you will eventually have a positive outcome. So you are in a period right now of building and creating. And again, with that strength and that conscious action, this is about you knowing, what you want to bring forward with you and what you need to release because it no longer supports your vision. So this is what I have for you. Please comment below again on the things that you're seeing in the cup. I would love to hear from you and get some thoughts from all of you. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, click on that notification bell, and I will see you for the new moon when it comes up. Take care. And for those of you who picked cup number 2, this reading is going to be for you. So I'm going to just flip over the cup. I've got 2 cameras on the go, so if I'm looking in another direction, I'm looking at the other camera so I can see what's inside the cup. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm going to keep it up like this so you guys can see it. And I'm also going to flip over the cards. So we have the Knight of Wands, and then we also have the High Lady of Love and Compassion, which is about reverence, kindness, and consideration. Okay, so when we're looking at the cup, again, I'm just looking at the cup again. Okay, so what I see in your cup here is I see a couple things. I see like this goat here coming down the mountain. Let's see what else we have. I'm hoping that you can see this too. So it looks like a man, looks like he's wearing a cowboy hat and he's holding a rake or a hoe. So I would say this is a cowboy or a farmer. And back here, there's a homestead. And let's see, do I see anything else? Not really. These ones are kind of clumpy. Okay. And then for your cards, you have the Knight of Wands and you have the High Lady of Love and Compassion. So, what this is really telling me is one of the things with the full moon energy that you're doing or how you're using this full moon energy is anything that is no longer connected to your passions, your desires, the things that get you motivated, excited. Uh, you're letting go. If it's not connected to your heart space with this love and compassion, the High Lady of Love and Compassion, you're releasing it and letting it go. And you are only connecting with and moving forward with the projects, the ideas, the things that really connect to your passions, your desires, that creativity, that heart space, right? You need to have an emotional connection with the things that you are doing. You have to enjoy it. There's almost this element of play as well. So if it feels like too much work, if it feels like a burden, then you need to release it and let it go, okay? Because it's only dragging your energy down. And part of that is that goat climbing down the mountain that I can see in that teacup. I mean, it looks like, I'll show you where I'm seeing that. So I see that goat right there. You're going to be seeing it upside down. I'm going to try and so I just see it as there's the head and it's in the back end and it's facing down towards the bottom of the cup. So it is coming down that mountain. Normally we think of mountain goats and they're climbing up that mountain, right? So when this one is climbing down, this is telling us that you have recently completed something very important, or this is a time of taking it easy and not overburdening yourself. And again, if it feels like work, if it feels like a burden, if it's too much responsibility, it is time to release it, even perhaps delegate, because that's how you're working with that full moon completion, releasing, letting go energy of that full moon. And then with that cowboy there with the rake or the hoe, and then the homestead in the background, this does indicate that you're handling situations with practicality and hard work. So I do like this for you. And the rake in his hand is telling me that you have this very grounded approach to life and you're very resourceful right now. So you're also finding creative ways to achieve your goals and desires, but it's also this tapping into the creativity, the things that nurture you, because I also see this homestead here. You are desiring to have security and comfort in your family or your home environment. But again, you're connecting with the things that nurture you. And that connects with that love and compassion, reverence, kindness, consideration, as well as that Knight of Wands, because that Knight of Wands is you are pushing forward with and you're moving with forward with things that again make you want to wake up in the morning and get out of bed, because you have this, it's tapping into your creativity, this inspiration, it's your passions, you're enjoying it, you're grabbing life by the horns. It's that kind of an energy. So this is a good, again, good full moon to release anything that does not support that, anything that does not connect to your heart space or your sense of purpose, and release that so you can move forward with the things that do. So please comment in, or please provide comments below on what you see in the cup. I would love to hear your feedback and see what images you are seeing in the cup and what you think those might mean. And yeah, and that I hope you really enjoyed this reading, and I hope you enjoyed this mix of the cards and the teacups. I know I enjoyed it and I had fun with this. So I will see you next time. Stay safe and take care. For those of you who picked teacup number 3, this one is for you. I'm going to turn the cards over and the cup over at the same time. The cards that you have are the 10 of Cups. What a wonderful card to have for this full moon, and the Sacred Union. So partnership and romance. Yeah, they just kind of like play into each other. And I'm going to turn the cup over and I'm going to just kind of like hold it up like this. I am working on 2 cameras. So, if I'm looking in another direction, it's because I'm looking up at the other camera to see what is inside the cup. And I'm just going to move it a little bit and see what I can see. Okay, so I can actually, I see, I'll just turn it a little bit like that, hoping that you can see it the same way I do. I see a bulldog there right off the hop. I also see a campsite, so I'm seeing like a tent and a campsite right here, right there. And Oh, I'm also seeing a reindeer jumping. He's right there and it's like he's jumping up after all of this stuff that's up here. Okay. And do I see anything else? So please comment below. I would love to hear what you are seeing in the cup. And if you know anything about tea leaf reading, how you are interpreting that, you can even Google it too and write some of the interpretations down in the comments if you would like. But again, I would love to hear what some of the viewers are seeing in the teacup. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So just getting into this, I think I'm going to start with the teacup reading. So what I see that with the jumping, I'm going to start because I'm looking right at him right now with that jumping reindeer. This indicates that you're starting something new, a new beginning, a new journey, and you are surrounded by good luck. Reindeers are good luck, especially in matters of love and friendship. And this is completely supported with the cards being the Ten of Cups. This is the happy home card. This is being completely supported emotionally in your home environment. And then you also have Sacred Union, which is about partnerships and romance. So, this really connects with that reindeer energy. So, how you can relate this to the full moon of releasing and letting go. Remember, I said earlier, if you watch the astrology part of it, that this full moon being in Aquarius, Aquarius likes to be a little bit more aloof, right? And not necessarily expressing the emotions. So what we're going to see with this full moon, and because of that in conjunction with the South Node, is this like holding and repressing of emotions, and suddenly you get like that emotional diarrhea coming out, right? Where you just blah, and it just all comes out. So part of this is that that releasing and letting go is that I feel like it's really this release of fear of not fully expressing how you feel, right? Because you don't want to get to that point where you're repressing, 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 and then all of a sudden it just all comes out all at once. You want it's this connection. I'm seeing this connection with another person or even a group of people around you, but this emotional connection. So tell them how you feel. So part of this full moon release is any bad habits or anything that you do or traits that you have that you want to release and let go that don't let you or make you feel inclined not to express your emotions fully, right? So how is it? Think about how it is that you hold yourself back. Why are you holding yourself back? Is there an insecurity there that do you think that people aren't going to be you think they're going to be angry or they're not going to love you anymore if you say how you are actually feeling? Or they're just not going to acknowledge it or maybe think you're silly. Like, what is it that holds you back from expressing your emotions? And that is what you want to release and that is what you want to overcome. And some of that might even be a bit of doing a bit of shadow work as well to uncover what it is and why it is that you're holding yourself back like that. Now, I'm going to go back to the cup again. And we are going to look at the campsite here. So the campsite intent, again, you can't make this stuff up. This signifies partnership and marriage. So I really do feel like one of the things that you're looking at with this full moon is how can you improve? How can you work on building and making your relationship go from a relationship to a relationship 2.0, right? It's what can you release, what can you let go of that's no longer supporting and in line with the your partnership or your marriage or your relationship, right? Like we as people, we evolve, we change, we grow, and sometimes that involves letting go of parts of ourselves that just, you know, no longer support who we are and who we want to become. And so it's almost like you're growing together. So what parts of it's like shedding that old skin, right, as you move forward. And that's what I see happening with this full moon here. And then I'm just going to move over here to that bulldog that I see. And with the bulldog, they symbolize loyalty, protection, and friendship. So this is also telling me that you are surrounded by good friends who are loyal and trustworthy and that you can rely on them in times of need. So emotional need, emotional support. So if you do happen to have a fear of expressing your emotions fully, your friends are there. They'll understand. The people that you're surrounded with, they understand, and you can feel safe to express yourself fully. So just know that. And also, one other final thing, please, because I have the two cameras here so you can see in the cup as well. Please put in the comments below what you are seeing in the cup. If you know what some of the symbolisms mean, go ahead and write that in the comments below, or you can Google it as well and see what Google says about some of the imagery that you're seeing in the cup. But please share below. I'd love to hear what you're seeing in the cup, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you found value in this week's video. If you enjoyed this reading, found it informative, fun, or both, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out my free monthly and weekly tarot readings, as well as my Tuesday tutorials, and enjoy this full moon.